Hi, friends. This is Slim Forsythe, and I'm on For a Song with my buddy Adam Fitz, and we're going to do The Dream of the Miner's Child. 1, 2, 3, and... A miner was leaving home for his work when he heard his little child scream. He went to the side of his little one's bed. Oh, Daddy, I had such a dream. Oh, Daddy, don't go to mine today. For dreams have so often come true. Oh, Daddy, dear Daddy, please don't go away. I never could live without you. I drink in the mine, bathing with fire. The workers that mourn for their lives. There's been the same change in the mouth of the mine. Was covered with sweethearts and wine. Oh, Daddy, don't go to mine today. For dreams have so often come true. Oh, Daddy, dear Daddy, please don't go away. I never could live without you. Go down to the village and tell all your friends. As sure as the bright sun will shine, there's something that's going to happen today. Oh, Daddy, don't go to that mine. Oh, Daddy, don't go to the mine today. For dreams have so often come true. Oh, Daddy, dear Daddy, please don't go away. I never could live without you. I never could live without you. All right.
Why'd you pick that song?
Well, there are a couple of reasons. I do another song on my latest album, which is out on Get Hip Records. This is Slim Forsythe. It's a song called Put My Little Shoes Away. And it goes, I give a nice intro, spoken intro to the thing on the record. It goes way back to the 1800s. But in that I say, and it applies with equal force to this Stanley Brothers song we're going to do in a minute, The Dream of the Miner's Child. And I say that I have always been strangely comforted by songs of tragedy and disaster. And that's only half a joke. I mean, when I say that, it gets a laugh. But it's also really true. There was a fella by the name of Howard Vokes. He's in Westmoreland County.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's gone now. He passed away a couple years ago. He was pushing 90. But he was sometimes called Pennsylvania's King of Country Music.
Okay.
He was a relentless self-promoter and a nice guy. But he put out an album way back in the 70s, and it was called Songs of Tragedy and Disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it is like so sad it's corny. I mean, some of it is just really almost unlistenable.
Mm-hmm.
But some of it really grabs you. Daddy, please, don't make me go to bed and I'll be good. Or, Mama, please stay home with me. But the mom goes out and drinks and carouses and comes home to a dead child, a feverish child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was one about a school bus. You know, I was a school bus driver for 6 years. There's one actually called The Yellow Tomb about a school bus accident. I mean, this stuff, it's, you know, you're ready to open a vein by the time you've listened to one side of the record. But all kidding aside, that is where I first heard the song Put My Little Shoes Away, which is a powerful, powerful thing that was brought into the 20th century by guys like Bill Monroe and the Stanley brothers and Woody Guthrie and many others, and it became a staple in the bluegrass repertoire. But it's more of like really in its origins, it was kind of like a Victorian parlor song, like a lot of the music of Stephen Foster.
Okay.
But this song that we're going to do, so I chose it for that reason, because I really don't understand why songs like that have always affected me like that. I mean, some people would listen to songs like these and say, oh my gosh, that's awful, you know. But I get this sort of like a connection. Like I say, I'm strangely comforted by these songs. I mean, there's something at stake in a song like this.
Yeah.
You know, life or death, or your soul, or something. And it's these songs kind of get you where you live. So, but the second reason now that I chose this one is because there's a story about this song. This was the song, according to her own words, that really stopped Gillian Welch dead in her tracks and put her on a whole new path. I mean, she was like playing bass in a Grateful Dead band out in San Francisco or something. And incidentally, I've met Gillian Welch and had a beautiful short conversation with her, a longer conversation with her husband, David Rollins, way back in 2003 when they played here in Pittsburgh. Just delightful people and fabulously talented musicians and songwriters. In fact, if your viewers take nothing else away from this podcast, I would encourage you to listen to an album that they put out, produced by T-Bone Burnett back in the 90s, called Revival. That thing is a rip in time. But anyway, so Gillian Welch said, I saw an interview of her, and she said, a friend of hers, they were like in the kitchen late at night or something, a friend of hers said, let me play you something. And she said, that song put me on a whole different path and into the old time, into what she became and still is. And the interviewer said, what was the name of that song? And she said,